Hey guys, Nick Horton here, the Iron Samurai, and this is another episode of Weightlifting Academy. So I made this video the other day about the front squat and how to rack a front squat, and it was a really simple piece of advice. It's just that simple one where I say make sure that your barbell is not in your palms. It's just on the tips of the fingers. That's it, in order to help reduce shoulder pain and to be able to rack the barbell better. And so I got this comment from someone who said, why would you bother making a video like that when that information is so obvious? But here's the thing. It's clearly not that obvious, because in the seminars that we do, and we run a lot of Olympic weightlifting seminars for ranked beginners all the time, I consistently have at least 5 people, usually dudes, sometimes up to 10 or even 15, who have no fucking idea what I'm talking about and are really grateful that I brought that up and told them to do it. In other words, the person who was complaining a bit there about what they believe to be really obvious advice was suffering from something that has a name in psychology. It's called the expert fallacy. The expert fallacy is almost the reverse of what you're going to assume it is. People will assume that you think you're more of an expert than you are, but it's actually the other way around. It means that you believe other people are more expert than they are, because to you this information is now completely obvious. But what you've forgotten is that there was a time when it was not completely obvious to you, and it only became that after you became more of an expert in the field. So if you've been lifting for a long time, information like that might seem really blatant and clear to you, but that doesn't mean that it is to other people. Another quick example of this is, for instance, what would happen in a college calculus class. If you were teaching calculus to college-age kids who just got out of high school, you might have 2 groups in there. The first group would be people who had actually taken a little bit of high school calculus before, so they have some vague connection to this material. Maybe they even signed up as math majors, so they're pretty into this material. And then there's everybody else in the class. And everybody else in the class they technically have the prerequisites. They've got trigonometry and algebra and some basic geometry under their belt, and they did fine in those classes, but they don't know a single thing about calculus yet. They really are beginners when it comes to that. If you're consistently going into your class assuming everybody in there is like the students who have signed up as math majors, they already took some calculus in the past, so this isn't actually as brand new to them as it otherwise could be, you're going to skip over tons of material that's really essential for those other people to know, because they don't yet have that background. So now you are really fucking over the students who needed your class the most. You have to get out of yourself this, what we really should term as a kind of arrogance, that you just flat out refuse to bring yourself down to whatever level the student is at. My basic advice for any teacher or any coach is to ask themselves, in the moment when I'm about to explain something, if I'm having that feeling like this is just too obvious to even bother with, tell them anyway. That's almost a precise gauge for you, that if you believe that what you're saying is, or you're about to say, is going to be too fucking obvious, it probably isn't to them. It is to you, but not to them. If something seems too obvious to talk about, that's a good sign that you definitely need to talk about it.